Officer Robert Reeves. I'm the Public Information Officer for the Irving Police Department. We're here to brief everybody about the arrest of capital murder for the capital murder of 2 children, which is Madison McDonald. Last night on April 5th at approximately 10 p.m., Madison McDonald walked into our Criminal Justice Center here at the Irving Police Department's headquarters, used our lobby telephone to dial 911, and told the dispatchers that she had killed her 2 children. She believes she did that by smothering them. The exact determination of how they died will have to be decided by the medical examiner's office, but that is what she believed is how she killed the 2 daughters. Irving officers responded to the lobby here, contacted her, sent officers to the 700 block of Cowboys Parkway at the Anthem Apartments. There they were able to find her apartment, and they got inside the apartment and located the 2 children, 1-year-old Lillian Mae McDonald and 6-year-old Archer Hammond, both deceased inside the apartment. Madison McDonald is charged with the 2 counts of capital murder for a person under the age of 10 years old. She is still currently here at the Irving City Jail with no bond and will be getting transferred to the Dallas County Jail either today or tomorrow. Right now, that is part of the investigation, and we're trying to figure out the why. And in a situation like this, this is obviously a horrific incident where 2 children were murdered. We may not ever know the why, right? Because there's not going to be a definition or a reason that would ever justify the murder of 2 small children.
Did she say anything about why she did it?
So what she commented on and what she has spoken to the investigators about is part of that investigation that's not going to be released at this time. What she did tell on the 911 operator was that she did smother her children. Like we said, that final determination on how they died will have to be determined by the medical examiner's office, but that is how she described it.
What was her demeanor inside the lobby?
She was very calm. So no one else was at home. As far as any witnesses that might have heard anything, I haven't read any of that in any of the reports. We do know that she was living at that apartment with just the 2 children and herself.
Any previous contact with police, this woman?
So we have been out to the location before. Due to the nature of the previous calls and the privacy that's required by those, I'm not able to go into details on what those calls specifically were on or the results of those calls.
Has anything like this ever happened here before?
So we have had, obviously, children unfortunately killed before. That happens. We saw a previous incident here in the Metroplex, North Texas area yesterday where, murders were occurring. So, with the pandemic coming to an end and what we saw during the pandemic of COVID-19 was that domestic violence and cases at home were going on the rise, right? So all I can say is, all I can keep encouraging people is, if you know someone is going through a situation, don't choose to not get involved. Choose to be that advocate for that victim and contact your local police department and let them at least come out and assess the situation and figure out if someone's in danger.
Are your officers who arrived at the scene getting counseling?
So our officers will speak to our crisis and incident, our peer support individuals. Anytime you go out on a scene like this and you witness 2 young children that are deceased, that obviously is a call that stays with you. And so we will make sure that those officers have the opportunity to speak to someone if they need to.
I know this may seem like a small fact, but were the children in the same room? Were they in different rooms?
Those specifics aren't being released at this time.
Did the woman stay on the line till the officers arrived?
I believe so, but I don't know that specifics. I know, obviously, being here at the police station, the response time from when she's calling up to 911 and when the officers are arriving on scene, the officer that came to this location was the one responsible for this area, so it was a very short response.
There was no one in the lobby. There's a phone in the lobby, obviously?
Correct. At 10 o'clock at night, there wasn't. The officer that's usually here during the daytime hours at the front desk was no longer at that post. At 10 p.m. there's a phone here that the public's allowed to use if they need to make a call for service, and she used that phone to contact our dispatch. Okay. if we have any other updates, we'll be posting that on our social media outlets, police, Irving PD. You can follow us at those locations.
I know you haven't said whether or not you made contact with her previously, but
we did make contact with her previously.
Okay.
The details for those types of calls, I'm just not able to release.
Does she have a criminal record at all?
That is part of those details, and her actual criminal record. I would not know that off the top of my head. I don't have her criminal history.
What was the name of the complex that was there?
The Anthem Apartments there in the 700 block of Cowboys Park.
Did they have to force entry?
Yes.
The officers had it?
Yes. They used, with the assistance of Irving Fire, they were able to gain entry into the apartment.